Adding a tint to your glasses can be a really exciting decision. It's an amazing way not only to customize your eyewear, but also to make it improved for a specific purpose. And in this video, I'm going to be showcasing all the different kinds of tints that you can have on a pair of glasses to help you choose the perfect tint for you. We're going to be covering everything from fully clear lenses to photochromic lenses to sunglass lenses, polarized, driving tints, pretty much everything, and featuring glasses from my own personal collection to tell the story of how I customize my own eyewear wardrobe to cover every eventuality. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And I really believe that a pair of glasses is not perfect until you add the right tint. And hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to agree with me. So let's get started. The simplest kind of tint is the one that I have on my glasses right now. And you might not have even noticed that I'm wearing a tint. It's very subtle. A lot of people that I talk to in the store, I will mention to them that I've actually got a tint on my glasses and they'll say, "Oh, do you?" They'll have a closer look and they'll say, "Oh yeah." And that's kind of deliberate. With a style like this, they're quite minimalistic. We don't want to go for something too bold, too prominent, because they're meant to be a relatively subtle pair of glasses in terms of the definition. What is cool about these frames is the shape. And what the tint really does is accentuate the shape, because it gives a lot more contrast between the lens and my face. And the advantage of that is that it makes the cool shape of these glasses stand out even more. But there are more advantages than that. The tint also reduces brightness. I work in a very brightly lit environment, and personally I'm quite light sensitive. So having this slight tint really gives my eyes a little bit of comfort. Specifically, this is a 12% blue tint. Now there are all different colors that you can have, and we're going to cover them throughout the video, but a blue I find a very relaxing and very restful color, so it's a great easy option that's just a little bit more interesting, a bit more cool in my opinion than a typical gray or brown tint. And I would say if you are just starting into the world of tints, a 12% tint for everyday wear is a really good place to start, because as I said, it's really the next thing to not having a tint at all. So it's quite an easy option to choose. I can't really see any downside to it. There are only upsides. Having said that, technically speaking, if you do want the best vision at night time, you do need a clear lens for that. And these drive safe lenses are completely clear. There's no tint to these at all. And that's, again, deliberate to give me the best vision in nighttime situations. They do have a reflective coating, which reflects away headlight glare, which reduces glare from oncoming traffic, which is a lifesaver for me. I find that it really enhances my night vision and makes me feel more confident when I'm driving in the dark. However, these glasses have a really cool trick, as I shall now demonstrate using a UV torch, which I meant to start the video with, but I'm just going to go grab one. So now that I've got my UV torch, I'm going to show you the secret trick of these glasses. You see, when they're exposed to UV, they darken up to around about an 85% blue tint. Now this frame has blue accents to it, and that's why I chose a blue tint for the lenses. That means when I'm out in the sun, the blue color of the lenses really matches up with the blue accents on the frame, and I love how it looks in the sun. I kind of think of these as a multi-purpose pair. They're partly for driving at night, and they're partly for wearing out in the sun. But then I love the style of these frames. These are a JFRA carbon wood frame, limited edition, and they're definitely my most commented on glasses. People tend to either love them or hate them. Obviously, I personally love them, and that's all that matters. You can see that these have darkened to a full sunglass hue. So when we talk about photochromic lenses, these are lenses that go from fully clear to fully dark. And they'll actually vary every stage in between. So if it's a moderately bright day, these lenses will go moderately dark. And when it's a really bright day, they'll go really dark to match the conditions. We recommend photochromic technology from Zeiss, which is called Photofusion, because it's about twice as fast to go clear when you go back inside out of the sun. So you'll see throughout the video that these will really start to fade back quite quickly. So whilst those photochromic lenses go from clear to dark, you can have photochromic lenses that go from slightly tinted to really dark. And this is what we call Photofusion flash technology. I've featured a few videos now on Photofusion flash, and for my money, it's definitely the best photochromic technology out there. It does have the one disadvantage that most photochromic lenses, well, all photochromic lenses have, which is that it doesn't work so well in the car. It's okay if you've got a convertible, otherwise you can't really rely on them as a complete sunglass replacement. But that's not really the point. People who buy photochromic lenses to avoid having to buy sunglasses are really not seeing the full benefits of photochromic lenses. They're great as a day-to-day, everyday lens, which is particularly useful when you're in and outdoors frequently. They definitely don't replace sunglasses, and you shouldn't think of them as a real two-in-one, but it is cool having that element of tint. So the way that I customize this frame is with a brown Photofusion lens and ruby flash mirror. I just felt like that would really match the styling of these frames because they have kind of an orangey tortoise shell around the lens rim. And as I hope you'll agree, I think the lenses perfectly suit this frame. I love how these look in the sun. They're definitely one of my favorite pairs of glasses, and the Photofusion flash technology just makes them that bit more dramatic. Essentially, these have a reflective pink coating to them called ruby finish. You should check out my recent video about different lens coatings to see how we can customize the coatings to really finish off your glasses. But when you add a tint and the right coating, oh my God, that's just where you get the best results, and hopefully you can see that here. Moving on, so this is a tint that, just like the first pair that I showcased, is always the same. It doesn't vary depending on the conditions. And this is kind of like the next step up from that single 12% tint. Whereas that is what we call a solid tint, i.e. the color is the same all the way through. This is a gradient tint, where it's lighter at the bottom and darker at the top. Specifically, this is called a pistachio tint, which is a 25% green, fading to a 10% rose. So although it looks completely clear, it is actually slightly pink at the bottom. And I actually like that because pink gives better contrast. So when I'm reading a book, for example, I get slightly more contrast looking through that pink lens at the bottom. But again, it's not really noticeable to other people. I wouldn't mind if it was. If I had a darker skin tone, it would probably stand out more. As it happens, it's quite close to my skin tone. But gradient tints are my preference, generally speaking. I think the solid tint suits this aviator style because, again, it helps to distinguish the shape of the lens because it is quite minimalistic. On this frame, which is from Reykjavik Eyes, the color of the frame is a little bit darker, so it has that definition already. What the gradient does is it gives me even more protection at the top because this is 25% as opposed to 12%. So I get even more protection from that bright light that I'm surrounded by. But as I look further down the lens, i.e. coming to reading, it's almost like normal. So you really get the best of both worlds in a sense. And a lot of people like gradient tints for that reason. Mainly, I think they look awesome. I think they look really cool, and I think they're really perfected, again, this frame. Hopefully you're getting that theme by now, that it's all about complementing the frame with the right tint. That's what it's all about, and creating a pair of glasses that probably nobody else in the world has. Now we're going to move on next to more prominent tints. The tints that we've covered so far are very easy options to choose, and you certainly should be quite brave about choosing any of these kind of tints. If you've not had a tint before, I definitely feel confident recommending any of these options to you. But as we get into more prominent tints, these become slightly more specialized. They certainly take away the everyday functionality of a pair of glasses, but they make them better in certain use cases. This is a tint that I actually created myself, which is a combination of what we call magma orange with a sapphire flash coating. Again, this is not to everybody's taste, and I probably wouldn't choose them from a pure style perspective, although I did model them on a pair that Brad Pitt wore in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I thought looked really cool. Although I initially ordered these for the style element, I was amazed by how clear these lenses are to look through. I created a video at the time where I said that I accidentally created the world's best driving glasses, and I fully stand by that. These are incredible for driving. They give the most contrast, the best depth perception. They're really versatile in lots of different weather conditions. I feel like I can wear these, and they make everything look brighter, but still stop the harsh light, and I mean significantly stop the harsh light. The only time that these are not perfect is when the sun is low, when it's very direct, because they're just not a dark enough tint for that. But having the lighter tint makes them super versatile, and they're a great pair to kind of keep in the car and also to take out on walks. On kind of wintry, overcast days, I found that these are fabulous for walking in. They make everything seem richer, brighter, and more colourful. And I absolutely love this tint. Hopefully you can tell how excited I am to wear it. It's one of my favourite pairs of glasses to wear on my drive to and from work every day. And I love going out on walks when it's not the sunniest weather. Speaking of the sunniest weather, the most versatile sunglass tinted lenses in the world are Zeiss adaptive sun lenses. Now these start off at either a 60% solid, or in my case 75 to 25% gradient tint, which is super comfortable even to wear inside. When I'm not at work and I don't need to make eye contact with people, I feel so shielded behind these lenses, but I feel like I can wear them all throughout the day. They're certainly not too dark to wear indoors. They're certainly not too dark to wear on any outdoor conditions apart from nighttime. I love wearing my adaptive sun lenses. They're extremely restful for my eyes. And like I say, I feel shielded. That's the other thing, psychologically with a tint, it's kind of like a barrier between you and the real world. And the real world can be a really harsh place sometimes. Sometimes we just want to feel detached from it. And for me, a tint on my lenses is a way of achieving that. If you don't believe me, give it a try. Order a pair of glasses with this kind of, say, 50 to 70% tint, and try it for yourself. You'll be really surprised at how it feels. You can really get used to it very quickly. As I say, when I'm not in work, I love to wear these all day sometimes. But the awesome thing with these is that they are the best sunglasses in the world, because when you go outside into the sun, they will go up to a 97% tint, which makes them the darkest sunglasses in the world, bar none. You see, you couldn't really have a pair of sunglasses with a fixed 97% tint. They would just be unusable in most situations. But adaptive sun lenses are always going to darken to protect you from the light, depending on how bright it is. And they're always going to adjust to be the exact level of tint that you need for the conditions. To me, that's just amazing. It means that you can take out one pair of sunglasses, no matter what the weather, and you know that you're going to be suited for those conditions with your sunglasses on. And if you need to go inside somewhere, you can still see just fine. If the sun goes away completely, you can still see just fine. But after, again, about 30 seconds of UV exposure, you can see just how dark these adaptive sun lenses have gone. And they will go a lot darker than that. There's no doubt in my mind that if I could only have one pair of sunglasses, it would definitely be adaptive sun. This particular pair that I've got here is in a brown gradient, 75 to 25%. And contrasting that against the more typical sunglass, this is kind of, I guess, the stereotypical lens tint that you would think of when you think of sunglasses, which is a very typical 85% grey. It's nice and simple. To me, it's very dull and boring. But the thing is that these frames are interesting enough without any kind of special tint. And that's why I've kind of left them with the original tint that they had. These are made by Casale in Germany, one of my favourite eyewear brands, full stop. You didn't really need to add any special colours, any special tints. They just work as they are. And for a pair of sunglasses that I occasionally wear in the summer, maybe on holiday, they do the job really well. I certainly couldn't have them as my only pair of sunglasses because sometimes they're too dark, sometimes they're not dark enough. Those eventualities are all covered by the adaptive sun technology. But it's kind of cool to have a pair like this, which are just pure sunglasses and nothing else. But certainly the contrast that you get with a regular neutral grey tint is nowhere near the magma orange that I showed you earlier. That will just blow you away. Now finally, the only way to protect from the most direct, the most bright sunlight is with a full mirrored lens. So this pair has, again, a brown gradient like the adaptive sun, but on top of that we have a full mirrored coating. And again, I filmed a full video about mirrored coatings. You should definitely check that out. But mirrored coatings make your sunglasses the most protective. These are also polarized. They're the only pair on the table that are polarized. What polarized means is they cut out 99% of reflected glare from either the road, from your car bonnet, your car windscreen, anything like that. It's just completely wiped out by these sunglasses. It's great to have a pair of polarized mirrored sunglasses for those really, really bright conditions where otherwise you might be blinded. They're the only way to really protect from the harshest glare of the sun. Again, they're nowhere near as versatile as the adaptive sun, but they are excellent in certain very specific conditions. I love the contrast between the white lens rim and the gold frame. I love all of my glasses, as you can probably tell. And hopefully this video has given you an insight into how I pair the right lens color to the frame and how it's all about building your perfect pair of glasses. And that's something I can help you with. If you want any personal advice, just reach out to me. Leave a comment below, and any questions you have, I'll answer them. I mean, it might not be super quick at the moment because I've just been inundated with inquiries, but I love to help people and I'll always do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, I think that just about covers lens tints. Thank you for sticking with me. I know that was a lot of information to take in. I hope it all made sense, and I hope it's going to help you maybe rethink lens tints and maybe consider a pair if you never have had it before. I think in 2022, for me, it's an essential. But if you did enjoy this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. I love each and every individual who subscribes, and I'm so grateful for it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.